Maybe you think you're lazy. Maybe you think you're just too emotional, or you just haven't got it in you to achieve the things you want to achieve, or get done the work you want to get done, or live the life you want to live. You just don't think that it's part of you. You just say, well, that's not me. But the truth is, it's not that you're stuck. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that there's something wrong with you. What it is that there's a trauma loop that's replaying from the past that's now keeping you feeling like you're stuck, feeling like you can't take action, feeling like to move forward isn't safe. Now, I'm going to break down in this video the top 10 trauma loops that are keeping you stuck in the past right now, and explain to you exactly what it is that's stopping you and how to reclaim your life. So basically, what you're stuck in is a survival mechanism. You're stuck in the survival mode where your nervous system is always on alert. Your nervous system is in survival. And when you're in survival, you're not in thrive mode, you're not in go mode, you're not in let's get the stuff done, or have fun, or relax, or enjoy my life, or build happy, healthy relationship mode. You're in survival mode. Now, this is great to keep you alive, but it's not great when you're in safety and actually you now want to go and thrive and start to enjoy your life. So the first one is chronic procrastination. What's happening here is your nervous system sees movement, sees action, sees doing the things that you want to do as unsafe. It is said that it's best to freeze. You're in freeze mode, basically. And the nervous system has shut down. The nervous system is saying, if you do something, if you take action, you could be unsafe. So it's best to stick with the familiar, even if the familiar isn't getting you where you want, because the familiar we know is actually safe. So when we're just looking at the one thing, the most important one thing, which is safety, now it's making the best decision for you. It's saying, I don't want to try something new. I want to try this. And what this is literally keeping the status quo as it is. Like, that's important. So you want to thank yourself for being in this survival mode, being in this procrastination mode, because it's actually doing you a good thing. It's trying to help you. It has a very good intention, although it might not be helping you to achieve that happiness. The next one is people pleasing, but at the cost of yourself. Now, it's okay to help other people and put other people first at times, but you need to do this from a place of feeling like you have enough yourself, feeling abundant, and knowing that you've given yourself all the love, all the care, all the attention that you need, all the rest, and put your needs first and achieved your goals. So now you're in a place where you can put other people first because you feel like you've got so much and you've so much to give, rather than a place where you're depleting yourself. Now, this is normal from someone who's stuck in trauma to always be trying to help others without helping themselves first. You're basically stuck in a survival state, and the survival state is like the fawn survival state, where it's become unsafe to put yourself first. You need to make sure that everyone around you is happy, because once everyone else around you is happy, that means that they're not going to attack you. So you're making sure that everyone's happy. Now everyone's happy, now you can be safe. This takes a lot of doing, and it also means that you're relying on other people, and it can be manipulators. Someone who's a manipulator, a narcissist, someone who's toxic, is going to look at the fact that you're the type of person always wanting to make sure everyone else is happy, and they're now going to use that for their own advantage, putting you at a disadvantage. Number 3, maybe you're overthinking. If you're overthinking, if you're looking at every little detail in the world, you're basically hypervigilant. You're looking for the cues, or the clues, should I say, for the future. What could happen? What could go wrong? The what ifs. Trying to analyze everything, kind of playing chess in a way, like if I take this move, do this, this, and this, that might happen. If I do this, that might happen. So you're really constantly overthinking. At night, maybe you lie down and you've stopped being busy. Now your mind is still going. So one thing that people do is often they keep being busy and literally burn themselves out to the point where they can't stop. So if they stop, they start thinking. They don't want to think, they don't want to overthink, so they just keep on working till they crash out at the end of the day. This, again, it's a great strategy to keeping you alive. It's keeping you looking into the future, but you're not a soothsayer. You're not a fortune teller. You can't predict the future. And the more you do, all you're going to do is actually start to create that uncertainty in your life. That is what's going to happen. You are going to create a level of uncertainty, and you are going to start spotting things that add up. We like to be right all the time. So it's not going to give you this sense of satisfaction that life's okay right now and that you actually have everything you need within you to handle any situation that's thrown at you. Maybe you have this fear of being seen, of showing up. I know for me, to go on YouTube, to do TikTok videos, to run retreats and do public speaking, it was one of the biggest fears I had. If we are someone who's afraid of speaking, afraid of being seen, we need to look at where that's come from. Often that comes from a place of rejection in the past, a fear of being rejected again, a fear of being shamed, because often it's a bully at school or it's our parents or something's happened where we've sort of stood up and said something, we've been shut down, we've been shamed. Like, how could you say that? How could you believe such a stupid thing? Now that gives us this sense of, wow, like being seen isn't good. I need to be quiet. I need to not make a joke. I don't need to try. This makes us feel like we're safe. So being seen makes us feel safe. But then at the same time, I think everyone deserves to be seen because everyone has something amazing to say. We all have a life. We've all experienced many different things and we can all help others. And I think we all deserve to be seen, to be heard, and feel appreciated. And of course, if that didn't happen when you were in childhood because your parents weren't able to do it or because you're at school and you got bullied, doesn't mean as an adult you can't do it. You just got to find the right group of people to be around, to be seen in front of. Maybe you're a high achiever, someone who constantly has to achieve, is achieving lots of different things all the time, constantly pushing the boundaries, trying to get more. Now, this is great if you actually enjoy your achievement when you get to the end of it. But are you the sort of person who achieves something and then goes, could have been better? Are you the sort of person who achieves something and then looks back and goes, well, it wasn't that hard? And then starts looking forward to the next mountain and thinking, well, actually, I need to work harder. I need to achieve more. There's people doing a lot more than me in the world. If so, then this is a great indication that there's an unhealed wound from the past, something where you've kind of felt like I wasn't good enough, somewhere where maybe someone's told you, there's an inner voice, there's that inner critic saying you need to be better, you need to be perfect. Because you've related, you start to build a belief that being perfect is safety. Being perfect means that you can't be hurt. When something's imperfect, now you can be told off, you can be criticized. It's given you this wound where you constantly strive for perfection and also strive to achieve more and more to prove that you are enough. Or maybe you find yourself attracted to unemotionally available people. Now, someone who's attracted to toxic people, to people who have their own baggage, have a lot of issues, often find that this comes from some kind of childhood wound. So maybe in childhood, your parents haven't been able to support you. They've been unable to be there for you, and they've been quite toxic, quite criticizing, quite belittling. And you're now looking at those kind of toxic relationships or those kind of relationships where you get these big highs and these big lows and there's lots of chaos. And now you're attracted to relationships like that because to you that's familiar. And what does the mind do? What does the survival trauma mind do? It looks for the familiar because the familiar, it knows that it can survive. It knows that I can survive in a relationship like that because I have all these tools. Whereas in a relationship that's safe, that's secure, that looks a bit boring, they're like, well, I don't know if I can survive that. Or maybe they'll just see through me and I'm not good enough, or it just doesn't excite me, it just doesn't turn me on because it's not normal. And what we're looking for in life is we're looking for patterns. You see, we've been through a pattern. And although we might know that it's negative logically, our emotional trauma nervous system doesn't know that. And it says, hey, this is a pattern that we recognize. So if we recognize something, we can go to it. It's a bit like, I don't know, when you go into a city and you want to stay at a hotel, you normally, if you see one that's a good price, you think, well, I stayed at the Hilton before, I'll stay there again. Or I stayed at the Radisson, I'll stay there again because I know that they do a good breakfast. I know that I'm going to get a good night's sleep. I don't want to risk trying something else because I've got a big, busy meeting in the morning. So it's exactly the same thing. Your body in the relationship is just saying, hey, this feels familiar. Let's stick with that. Maybe you find yourself numbing through social media, through scrolling. Maybe you find yourself numbing through other addictions such as food, such as alcohol. And you just find yourself constantly looking for ways to escape. This is your body stuck in that flight mode, always finding ways to just escape, just to disappear. Like, I need to get out of here. I don't want to be in the reality right now. I need to find a way to move forward, move on to something else. What's next? What's next? And this is the world that we've kind of grown up in now. It's always kind of giving us this dopamine hit. So we get this dopamine hit, and for that moment, we're feeling like we're safe. We've escaped from the world that we're in, not really allowing ourselves to be in the world, not allowing ourselves to take a moment to let ourselves and our nervous systems to relax. And the problem is, when we do this, when we don't let our nervous system relax, we're now constantly in this state of stress. And that causes a lot of disease, a lot of pain, a lot of problems within us. We become basically an addict, losing sense of free will, control, and that makes us avoid life. And when we're avoiding life, we don't get the joy of life. We don't get to really enjoy what life means. And maybe you struggle to relax. This is when your cortisol is constantly going because you're constantly thinking you need to move forward. You need to do some work. You feel guilty if you're not tidying the house, if you're not achieving something, because we're stuck now in this kind of loop of, I better be doing something, otherwise I'm guilty, otherwise there's something wrong with me, I'm wasting time, unable to relax. And this basically means that, yeah, your nervous system is really kind of constantly just feeling like I need to move, not allowing yourself to just be you. This is putting a lot of strain, a lot of stress. And those constant cortisol spikes are telling the world that they're in danger. And when you're in danger, it doesn't feel good. And it makes the body come into this stress response. And again, that's where these diseases can start to spread. If you've got any kind of illnesses that are kind of laying dormant, they're going to be triggered. Or maybe deep down, you just feel like you're not enough. And again, this comes from a loop from childhood where you've been criticized, where you've been belittled, where you've been told you're not good enough and you have to do more to achieve something, to help someone, and that you've turned this into a belief. This belief is, I'm not good enough. And you start to self-doubt yourself, you start to criticize yourself. And the more you do this, the more it becomes your belief, the more it becomes who you are, and you start to change your identity based on that. So if you believe you're not enough, you become not enough, and you create the life that you don't want just because you believe it. But the good news is, if you're experiencing any of these or all of these, then it just means that you have had a past. And everyone has had a past of some sort, and our past creates who we are today. But the good news is there's also a future that is yet to be written. And just like that was written, just like right now, what is happening right now, the notes that are playing in your life, they were written. You can rewrite those notes. You can rewrite some new notes so that you start to play different music in the future. And that is why I created the Success Refined program and community, for people like you, for people like me who have been through trauma, who are suffering because of it, but are not getting the next level of success. They need to redefine success. Success doesn't mean constantly being busy. Success doesn't mean constantly making other people happy. Success is whatever it means to you to be fulfilled, to be living via purpose, to feel at peace, to be free to choose. And that's why this community has everything in it that we're starting to build with you. We're in the middle of building it right now. In fact, if you're watching this video a couple of months after it was made, then check the link below somewhere, because there will be a link to that community. And it's got everything you need in it to help you to rebuild and to reclaim your life after going through everything that you've been through. And guys, if you found this video useful, please like, please subscribe.